I think for ODM, this is a time for reflection because what Honorable Sifuna is articulating, I think it is the voice of the average Kenyan person. That look, we have more pressing needs and we need the focus right now, here we are, before we can speak of 2027. The credibility of Ruto as a re-election candidate in 2027 has to be, sifted, sieved, viewed, or at least tested against the 10-point that ODM is anchoring its involvement with government on. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What wrong is there for Honorable Sifuna to then say that, look, we didn't agree, we haven't sat and had a consensus on the 2027 period. We are here now, and at least he was speaking in 2025. Now we're in 2026. And you hear all these voices ganging up against him saying, you have to go. For what? For what? All he's saying that, look, let's have a focus on the here and the now. When we get 2027, or at least shortly before that, if they had a convocation, if they had a members' political party meeting, and the membership, not just a few isolated people who are probably in Ruto's pocket and they are being paid peanuts in order to voice protest and hate against Honorable Sifuna. The membership itself, the Kenyan people who are members of ODM, meeting and saying that, look, Honorable Sifuna has insisted on the 10-point plan. Show us the score sheet. What have you achieved of those 10 points that Honorable Raila, before his demise, then had said ought to be met? What's wrong with that? And then the convocation, or the people then can say, okay, fine. So far, we see 98% or 50% has been met, and therefore we will go ahead with this. But now to sit in a boardroom and say that, look, before you come and engage ODM, we have to have the deputy president seat. Before and I mean, that's not the way to go. And Honorable Sifuna is saying that, look, as a Kenyan people, as an ODM political party, this is what we should be focused upon. I don't think it is right then to say, oh, Honorable Sifuna has gone off on a tangent. He's now bringing his own views. He's not, and I'm hearing now, he's a member of the DCP. I believe, this is my personal belief, hadn't Honorable Sifuna gone to that meeting where His Excellency Gachagua was, then nobody would be seeking and, join DCP and stuff like that, because they were all mute and they were all like saying that, look, but until that happened, this is when now this has reached a higher tempo and everybody is saying that kick out Honorable Sifuna. But they cannot pinpoint to that which he is saying now that he did not say when Honorable Raila was alive. They can't. Because he was, belligerent, quote, if you have to put it out. Belligerent as he is, as he was before Honorable Raila passed on. And Honorable Raila, and I disagree with the idea that I think it's Joshua who was saying, or at least Meshach was saying, that they had let Honorable Raila manage the sort of fallout, if there was going to be any, and Honorable Sifuna would have been disciplined by Honorable Raila. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Let's respect the independence of thought that Honorable Sifuna has. I mean, they have such a brilliant Secretary General who can be able to even to go to media houses and be able to take on their opponents and challenges. You don't want to have a docile, soprano sort of person who comes there and, so muted and they're taking everything that they're being told. They're so beaten up. I mean, this is someone they should be proud of. And someone who is ready to take on the big boys and say that, look, ODM is supposed to be like this. They should credit him for at least that which he has brought.
It is easy.
And lastly, the point that I should do, lastly, before Meshach, because Meshach has all his jabs now. He's right there with all the arrows now, trying to hit. No, hold on. My last point is this. Honorable Sifuna, if he has expressed himself in a way that they disagree with, as an ODM stalwarts, then they should tell him that, look, avoid saying this And you can now keep within your freedom to say this, but avoid saying this. But not come out and say, no, we're going to kick you out. We're going to kick you. They're intolerant.
Yes,
they are intolerant.
It's simple and easy to chant, kick him out, you're going to leave the party. It's not that easy. Unless there are elections, how else will you kick out Edwin Sifuna from the party, leave alone his position as SG?
How else was Ababu kicked out? I mean, sometimes you kick yourself out. It's not even anybody kicking. Sifuna is actually kicking himself out. And some of us believe he had left the party even before the death of Raila Odinga. It's only that he was looking for the best moment to bolt out. And this is going to happen. You heard Gachagua himself telling Kenyans that we are not announcing our candidate now because we are waiting for people like Sifuna. They are coming. I mean, there is no coincidence, Harrison, in politics. Those optics are no coincidence.
The clarity on how it is going to happen is the question.
Yes, this is how it's going to happen. The Central Committee will sit, and when majority decides that we no longer have faith that you speak for the party, now it's either you agree to leave so that we get someone who will speak for the party, or you start speaking for the party and remain. And I am sure he's going to choose to leave so that he can be a hero in the eyes of people who are not ODM members, including Harrison here. They will tell you how ODM is great, how it has been built, but they never wanted to be part of that great ODM until today. If you dare tell us that you believe ODM is a great party and Sifuna is such a great, why are you not part of ODM today? Why are you not a member of ODM? So let people who have never believed in Raila, have never believed in his cause, have never believed in what he was building, start preaching to us today how great he has built a party, how great he has been.
Tell that
we
to Ruto.
have been there.
Tell that to Ruto.
Ruto has been part of ODM before.
Ruto
were you ever part of ODM
Ruto
before?
called him a
You
wizard.
never were part of ODM.
Final word on this one.
But at least
Ruto called him a wizard.
but at least Ruto has
And he
been
said he's
part of
gonna win
ODM,
him.
has been part of
Give him a
ODM,
bundle.
and at one point has believed in Raila so much, including the other day to take him to the AU and fight to try and get him. You have never been. So people who have never been near Raila and have never supported Raila for 1 minute are busy lecturing ODM and its members on how Raila was great, on how ODM. Sifuna up to now has brought no single person from Bungoma, his county, no MCA from ODM, no member of parliament of ODM, no governor. And you are telling us, Mulembe Nation, Mulembe Nation. Who did he bring from Mulembe Nation to the ODM? Zero.
Now,
as an what is he supposed to do as a
he should go and make DCP that great.
Please,
if he is such great.
Meshach, calm down. My concern is that, and Wakili Kinyajui will help me with this, that parties, and it's not just ODM, parties have historically in Kenya been very reluctant to discipline members, ODM included, because every time you pursue that direction, it causes a rift and serious rebellion. Wakili Nyamori would wish to correct you that even within UDA, there are members who have openly defied the party position.
We have an example in the deputy president that when you cross the line, you are punished.
He didn't cross. There was no crossing the line.
Yes, Wakili.
There was absolutely no. You see, I have to, with tremendous respect, disagree with my lot of friends over here and say that what the self-description of ODM that is going on by Honorable Milia Diambo, the self-cannibalization, that self-description fits the bill. That's exactly what is going on. And we will see more of this. And unlike what Joshua advocates for and says that this is a moment of, self-actualization, self-realization, self-assessment, it is not. This is a point of fracturing. They who want to be with the people of Kenya, represented by Honorable Otsoti, Honorable Sifuna, and they who want to have the status quo, the Honorable Junets, they who have gone to bed with a dictatorship. And this is coming out not from my own lips, but from what Sifuna said, Honorable Sifuna, that you cannot, well, any dictator can build roads. That's what he said. But look, we have to lead the Kenyan people. That is what he is saying about that faction or that, fractured wing of the ODM. And I do not think that this will end very nicely. I think if they do take that step, and they should be wary, and I'm warning them, if you do take that step to kick out Honorable Sifuna, the whole Mulembe nation will go. Absolutely, they will go. Because you see, they will feel that you have railroaded us into a system or a position that we cannot therefore exercise our freedom of expression. We cannot even be able to tell you that you are wrong, you are taking us in the wrong direction. And they should accept that. And I am very shocked that Joshua here, my little friend, is actually stamping with approval that sort of going to bed with the dictatorship that is there. All that Honorable Sifuna is saying, that when we have a 10-point agenda, can we stick to that? What is wrong with that? And I would have hoped to hear from Joshua that, you know, the deceased Honorable Raila had said that if we get our government, if we get our power, we will be giving Kenyans 6,000 every month. I thought that that is what they should be doing right now. And I thought that every Kenyan should be receiving 6,000 as part of the ODM agenda. I mean, what happened to that? What happened to the agenda that was supposed to be articulated by ODM? All they're now going for Honorable Sifuna's jugular for is for him saying, is one term, not 2 terms. You cannot go for 2 terms because we didn't agree. And then you see when it got too hot in the kitchen, what happens? Suddenly, the quote-unquote, the party leader then says that I'm going to be on the ballot, I'm going to be on the ballot. And so everybody's aghast. I mean, what's going on? What's going on? Do we now have Oburu Odinga now as a presidential candidate? But maybe he's hearing voices spoken to him from behind by Ruto. But Ruto has an agenda. His agenda is to fracture the ODM or corner the ODM to a point of supporting him in 2027.
Okay.
That is his agenda.
Let's consider the position ODM is in right now. And
allow me to finish one point. What happened yesterday, at least with the press conference, that Honorables Media Diambo and I believe some of the voices in ODM were saying is that, look, don't air the dirty linen of ODM outside there. We don't want it that way. But that's the truth. And the question is that I can ask them, are you able to control that now? Or have we just reached the Rubicon? Have we gone beyond the point of no return? I believe we have.
All right. And the question we're asking online is on the ODM wrangles. Has Edwin Sifuna crossed the line from being ODM's bold voice to becoming the party's biggest internal problem? But it's the kind of solution that many are proposing within the ODM ranks, that simple, just kick them out. Do you believe that that's the way to go? We've seen what that has done to parties before. Do you believe that the best thing now is to kick dissenting voices out of the party?
Thank you. I want to refresh your mind. There have been other members of Mulembe who have been Secretary General in the ODM, and Ababu was kind of powerful, if you ask me, than Sifuna has been, because Ababu was actually an elected member of parliament in the Mulembe Nation. Sifuna has not been elected in Mulembe Nation. He tried and failed terribly. So if you come to threaten ODM that Sifuna should stay and continue rocking ODM from inside for whatever reason and for the interest of whoever he knows, I think that would be wrong. Because right now, after the death of Raila Odinga, who knew how to govern this team very well, we must accept that nobody will step into Raila's shoes and govern ODM the way Raila had done. And it is expected that we will have some noise around the party. It is simple. But at this point in time, Dr. Oburu Odinga is trying to manage the loss of Raila as a brother, as a family member, and also manage the ODM as the captain. Do we need Sifuna to continue speaking for himself and not speaking for the party at this point in time? I would tell you no. He needs to speak for the party more than he speaks for himself.
That's what Raila said. He was speaking for the party.
He is not speaking for the party now because the Central Committee sits, agrees, he comes out and reads the statement that is on behalf of the party, then he goes to TV in the morning to contradict all that. That man is speaking for himself and not the party.
He probably
Harrison,
is speaking for
the party means this is the position that was taken democratically, meaning majority have their way. Minority will have their say. But why is democracy only works for people like Sifuna? When he wants to speak for himself, he will justify the principle of minority will have their say, I must say what I think. But when the other principle is remaining behind, where majority have taken this decision and I am bound with it, that principle is not working anymore. We do not need somebody like that in a party like ODM right now.
This is not,
we do not. Ababu went and Mulembe Nation threatened the same way Harrison is threatening here. They even say Mulembe consciousness. They even were many. But here we are, ODM is still there. We don't go with threats like that.
Edwin Sifuna had the same sentiments even when Raila Odinga was still alive.
Yes.
Raila Odinga did not call for anyone to be removed from the party.
Yes.
Do you believe now, because Raila Odinga is not there, the best way to go is to remove?
Yes, let me tell you, yes. And it's a big yes. When Raila was there, even us, we did not support that Sifuna should go. We just thought it is okay because Baba knows how to deal with such people within the party. He had mastered the art. And being an anchor of that party, the captain, we believed and everybody believed whatever happens, people will speak, people will sip, but when Baba says this is the direction, that's the direction. And even those who have dissenting voice will speak, he will hear, but finally the direction. But when we lose somebody like Raila, we do not need this anymore because there is nobody else to deal with it. So Sifuna should go, full stop.
Wakili Nyamuri.
My brother Ndumuli, you know, as I stated, Raila had the gravitas, had the capability to reward and sanction, okay, in many ways. And so, as I have said, the party is going through a transition, and there's new leadership. And you see, every time Sifuna contradicted the party, while Raila would say that the Secretary General is a spokesman of the party, he would then add a rider that the Secretary General only speaks after a meeting of the Central Committee or other party organs, and therefore then, explains or communicates what has been agreed. He did not give Sifuna, a blank check to go outside there and express his personal opinion for the opinion of the party. And this is a delicate moment. In my view, it is a moment to purge. Whenever there is new leadership, if there's an individual or two who do not want to pull towards the new direction of a new leadership of an entity, there is nothing wrong. And I want to encourage the ODM leadership. There is nothing wrong to purge, so as to set an example that it will still be an organization that has rules, it will still be an organization that can punish, it will still be an organization that will respect partners.
You talked about personal opinion,
yeah.
And there are those who believe that even expressions that ODM party should support William Ruto in 2027, which was never stated expressly by Raila Odinga, would be personal opinion as well. Why is it wrong and right?
Indeed, the point I'm saying is personal opinion is where Honorable Sifuna actively attacks the government and mobilizes against the government. The government, the two parties had gotten to the point in which they set up a committee to review what they had agreed on and what has been achieved so far, and agree on what needs to be done, and then discuss. And then the leadership of the party would then discuss if, and Raila talked about this during this Honorable Phoebe CEO's funeral, and said when it comes to 2077, we will discuss.
So when was the discussion being?
Just listen.
When was the discussion?
We will discuss how to move forward. However, there was no authority for a party member to go out to denigrate the president, to attack a partner party, to attack the government, to attack members of the party who are sitting in government, to call his fellow ODM leaders as washenzi. You get me? And so, in my view, respectfully, I would tell ODM, this is the time to define the fact that they have a new leadership in Honorable Buru, and that anybody who does not align should be punished.
And should go.
And should go.
And a lot of our viewers seem to agree with that. Samson Delilah says, Samson Delilah. It's time he leaves, just like Ruto, Balala, Margaret Wanjiru, and Shebesh. Raphael Rotuno disagrees, says, with Sifuna forever right, others are cowards and sycophants. John Down, that is a reasoning of those who are fighting so hard to hand over the party to Ruto, those who have only one side of the... Okay, let me not continue with that. True, Sifuna should leave the party. If he's a man enough, let him resign and join DCP. Fabian Kemboi says, Sifuna and his few gullible fans should look for a new party to vie on, whether it's DCP or DCI. That's Steve Adamson Modamu, and others continue, but of course there are those who disagree. And Hodge Educationist says Edwin Sifuna speaks for Mwananchi.